The first time she looked at me after the reset, she frowned. Not in fear, not in anger, but in confusion so deep it felt older than this world. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "Do I know you?" Those 6 words hurt more than the day the sky burned. I stood on the opposite side of the glass corridor, white lights humming above us, the city of Neoastra sprawling beneath our feet like a living circuit board. People moved past us, unaware that my entire life had just been erased from the woman standing 3 meters away. "Yes," I replied, forcing my voice to remain steady. "You do." She studied my face carefully, as if searching for something written between the lines of my skin. Her eyes lingered on mine longer than necessary. Her breathing changed, slower, uneven. "I don't know your name," she whispered. But then, barely audible, as if spoken to herself, she added, "But something about you feels like home." Beginning, before the reset, in Neoastra, memory was currency. The city had risen after the collapse, when humanity realized that information, not land, not power, was the most valuable resource left. To protect society from trauma, war, and rebellion, the central authority introduced the Reset Protocol, a technology that could erase specific memories, rewrite emotional responses, and reprogram identities for the greater good. They called it mercy. I called it theft. I was a neural archivist, someone who stored memories deemed dangerous before they were erased. Officially, my job was to preserve history in encrypted vaults beneath the city. Unofficially, I was helping people remember what the world wanted them to forget. That's how I met Alara. She was a cognitive engineer, brilliant and stubborn, with a laugh that didn't belong in a controlled society like ours. We met during a classified project called Soulprint, an experimental theory that suggested consciousness left a non-digital residue in the brain. Something beyond memory. Something closer to instinct. "Even if you erase everything," she once told me, lying beside me in my dim apartment as neon lights spilled through the window, "some part of us will still know. Love isn't just data." I laughed then. I was practical, logical. I believed in code and structure. I didn't believe in souls. Until the day the authority came for her. Alara had discovered something dangerous, proof that soul prints could survive resets. That love, trauma, and identity weren't fully erasable. If the public learned that, the entire system would collapse. So they label her a threat. Her sentence wasn't death. It was worse. Total reset. I begged. I argued. I threatened to expose everything. They let me choose one thing. Her memories of you, the director said coldly, or her memories of the project. I chose wrong. Middle, after she forgot. The reset took place in a tower of glass and white silence. I wasn't allowed inside. I watched through observation screens as machines rewrote her mind neuron by neuron. When she woke up, she screamed. Not because of pain, but because something essential was missing. For weeks afterward, I stayed away. I told myself it was mercy. That if she didn't remember me, I had no right to interfere. But Neoastra is a small city when you're haunted. We crossed paths in the transit ring one evening. She was laughing with colleagues I didn't recognize. Her hair was shorter. Her posture different, more guarded. Yet when her eyes met mine, she stopped. Her smile faded. She tilted her head, like an animal catching a familiar scent. And then came the words, "I'm sorry, do I know you?" That was the beginning of my punishment. After that, she started noticing me everywhere. At first, she thought it was coincidence. Then curiosity. Then unease. She sat next to me on public transports without knowing why. She turned corners expecting to see me. She dreamed of a faceless man whose voice she recognized but couldn't place. Finally, she confronted me. Why do I feel like my life started in the middle of a sentence? She demanded, standing in the rain under flickering streetlights. Why do you look at me like I died? Because you did, I thought. Instead, I said, because someone took something from you. I didn't tell her the truth, not yet. The authority monitored everything. One wrong word, and they'd reset her again. Or me. But the soul print that was beyond their reach. It began with small things. She flinched when someone else touched her hand, but not when I did. She trusted my voice instinctively. Once, during a city-wide blackout, she panicked in the dark. I found her curled against a wall, shaking. Without thinking, I pulled her into my arms. She froze, then relaxed. I don't know why, she murmured into my chest, but this feels right. I held her like that for a long time, knowing every second was dangerous. The more time we spent together, the more the cracks appeared. She started questioning the authority. She accessed restricted files, her old habits returning like muscle memory. One night, she came to my apartment unannounced, eyes blazing. They erased me, she said. Didn't they? I didn't answer. You loved me, she continued, voice trembling. I can feel it. I don't remember it, but I know it. Tears fell down her face. Tell me my name when you said it. I whispered it. Alara. She repeated it like a prayer. Then she whispered mine. I hadn't told her. Ending. What the soul remembers. The authority came for us the next day. They had detected unauthorized neural activity, soul print resonance. Proof that Alara was remembering without remembering. We ran down into the memory vaults beneath Neo-Astra, where forgotten wars and erased lives slept in data shadows. I accessed my private archive, the memories I'd stolen before the reset. Once you see this, I told her, hands shaking as I prepared the neural link, you'll remember everything. But they'll never stop hunting you. She looked at me with calm certainty. I don't need memories to choose you, she said. I already have. Still, she deserved the truth. When the memories flooded back, she screamed again. But this time, it was my name she cried. She remembered our laughter, our fights, our plans to leave the city. The moment I chose wrong. When it ended, she cupped my face. You didn't fail me, she said. You saved what mattered. The alarms grew closer. There was only one way out. I stayed behind. Someone had to erase the vault. Someone had to disappear. As I locked the system and prepared my own reset, total, irreversible, Alara begged me to stop. You'll forget me, she sobbed. I smiled. Maybe, I said. But my soul won't. The last thing I saw before the light took me was her eyes. I woke up weeks later in a different sector, with a new name and an empty past. I didn't know who I was. But one day, walking through a crowded skybridge, a woman stopped in front of me. She stared into my eyes. Her breath caught. I don't know your name, she whispered. Then, softly, with a smile that broke the world open. But my soul recognizes you. And I knew no system could ever erase that